Hello everyone and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. We are playing as France. It is the 2nd of July of 1940, and the situation at the beginning of this video is basically the same as at the beginning of last video, as unfortunate as that sounds. We are doing better on our officer ratio, and we have a few more techs under our belt, but the most important thing that happened is on this day, the 2nd of July, we have the first radar stations that can be deployed to our country. Now, we don't want to build them too close to the front line just in case we do end up losing a province to the Germans, but we also don't want to build them too far away because we want as much information as is physically possible. And we also will probably want to build some down here just that we get some information about the naval situation down here once Italy does actually join the war. But I do think that the Germans are the larger threat at this point. So I think we're going to deploy them into Reims over here, or Riem. Really don't know how to properly pronounce it. And I like to build radar stations this way. So you can build them two ways, just like any structure like this. Actually, you can't build infrastructure this way, but radar stations, you can queue them up just by selecting a province and clicking this little radar station button here. The problem here is that it builds them in parallel. Sorry, no, it builds them in serial. So it'll build the first level, and then it'll start building the second level, and then it'll start building the third level. So to get a level 10 radar station in this province, it would take you 10 separate build times for the radar stations, and you saw how long it took us to get just these ones. But now we have 10 of them to deploy in any province that we choose, and so we can just click on Reims 10 times now. You see, this is already level 1, and now it's level 2, and now it's level 3. I mean, we spent the same amount of industrial capacity this way to get the level 10 radar station. Actually, I think we spent a little bit more because we didn't get the benefit of the practicals. But this way, we get an instant, well, not instant, but we get a level 10 radar station in this province the quickest way we possibly can. If we'd done it the other way, we'd have, for the same IC, 10 level 1 radar stations spread out across our entire country. This will take some tooling up. Right now it's at level 0, but it can be built up to level 10. It'll take time to repair, and it'll repair on a daily basis. I do think that we're going to queue up yet another 10 radar stations. And we have a decent amount of practical now. We actually reduce the building cost and time by just over 15%. So we'll be able to build these more efficiently, and once those complete, we'll be able to build the next batch even more efficiently. So all in all, excellent thing. This will help our air power a little bit. Our Air Force gets bonuses based on how strong and how near the radar station actually is. Let's see if I can actually find the ground control text right here. Radar combat impact plus 10%. And the bomber targeting focus as well. No, actually that doesn't. Apparently that doesn't matter at all. Okay, well, it's just the fighter ground control over here. Meant to model how well the Germans used the radar stations, for instance, in Dover over here, to sort of deflect the blows that the German Air Force was flinging at them. They were able to scramble their fighter jets just in time to meet the German Air Force. That said, our interceptors need as much help as they can possibly get. So we're going to unpause here, let the game continue on for a little bit. We had been playing on speed 5. Honestly, if I were Germany, at this point I would have already attacked the Netherlands, because there's really no reason to wait. It's just letting the Soviet Union get stronger, letting the Allies, get more allies, and all in all, it's Germany's prerogative to take out France as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so Germany can focus on the rest of the fronts. Fighting a two-front war is something Germany wants to avoid, and having France on your left and the Soviet Union on your right is really, really not something that the German player wants for as long as possible. So hopefully with this radar station getting built up, you can see it's getting repaired rather slowly, unfortunately, but it is slowly tooling up. Slowly will start providing us with useful information. We'll start being able to see the relative position of some German units within German territory, which will be fantastic. And we are sinking yet more convoys, which is fantastic, although it looks like we're being sort of intercepted over here. Yeah, go ahead and keep on attacking me in Faaborg, that's fine, you keep doing that. How is our main battle fleet doing in the ocean over here? It's doing all right, not spectacular. Our backup fleet is repairing at home. We also have these guys. Are you in the backup fleet? I think you are. So we'll rebase you over here to Calais, and then we'll select the navies, get rid of the transports, recombine them back up. Wonderful. We'll let all these guys repair while they're in the same fleet. It'll be fine. It'll work the same either way. So yeah, we're just playing on speed 5, hoping that that everything goes all right and that we can react in time to things, because basically nothing's happening at this point. So yeah, you can see now we actually do have depth of vision here. We know that there are HQ brigades back here, even though this province is in the fog of war. And there's actually a map mode for this, the Intel map mode, that is really not that useful except for this specific instance when you want to see what kind of intelligence you're getting. So we can see over here we have Intel level 4, whatever that arbitrary level of intelligence means, in this province, simply because we have the radar station. We're not allied with the Netherlands. We don't get any details from the Netherlands, but we can see where their HQ brigade is in this province because of our expanding radar station here. And it's only at level 2 right now, and look at the extending amount of information that we're able to get just from having that radar station in that province. It's absolutely fantastic, and I honestly do recommend focusing on getting a level 10 radar installation as quickly as possible, rather than building them up one by one and slowly getting piecemeal benefits from everything, little bits at a time. Yes, continue to sink. Continue to sink. The only good German ship is a sunk German ship. Alright. Okay. We are starting on a new interceptor wing down here. We have 2 of them still in production. 3 of them still in production, which is good, which is great. But we need to decide what we're going to build next, and I do think we're going to focus on our Air Force still. We're building how many? 2 naval bombers. Let's build 2 more. Do we want naval bombers? I don't think we do. I think we want some close air support. Do we already have a close air support? I think we do somewhere in here. No, I don't think we do. Alright. Well, let's build a close air support. They're fairly good bombers for supporting individual attacks. They do a significant amount of organization damage to units on the ground, but they're really not good at defending themselves in terms of anti-air. So if you have air superiority already, you can really support your attack or your defense in a province using close air support aircraft. Germans are still throwing troops away, attacking Faaborg, which is fine by me. That's sort of why we did that up there. They are this is the symbol for multi-role fighters. They can both fight the air and bomb us on the ground. They're also using what looks like tactical bombers against us. We can actually go in here and actually check exactly what they've got. Yeah, they've got tactical bombers and multi-role fighters, which is unfortunate, but they're not doing too much damage, and our units are gaining a significant amount of experience from this. We are going to make sure that nobody is capped on skill, which is fine. We killed 600 of their troops for 45 of ours, although that doesn't count the amount of losses that we're taking from air bombardments, which suck because our aircraft also suck. So I think we're going to move the tactical bomber away from here. We just don't have air superiority. We really can't afford to be attacking much of anybody in the air. On the other hand, Germany is unable to defend its provinces from British strategic bombers, which is interesting. I guess they have other priorities than stopping the bombardment of their country. The Brits have bombed Leipzig twice, which is fine by me. Good. Hey, small arms is awesome, considering the majority of our army is infantry and will probably remain infantry. We will definitely research that. Definitely want to keep as up to date, if not ahead of time, as possible on our small arms. We lost a province. Oh my goodness, they're invading Corsica. They just did paratroopers. Wow. Is this does this matter in any way? I mean, okay, it did produce 1 energy It had no leadership or manpower. I did not expect paratroopers. Good job, Germany! Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I've completely left my coast undefended because I didn't think that Germany would do any paratroopers. They can't supply this. Italy isn't in the war. They can't send supplies down this way. I suppose we could take it back. We have naval superiority here. Let's take the 2nd Corps. All of the 2nd Corps. Load it onto the transports and move them down here. See if we can destroy this paratrooper. We'll rebase them to Toulouse. Rebase Toulouse. And then we'll take our Mediterranean task force and move them into the Bonifaco Straits over here. And we're going to start telling our carrier air group to bomb the living daylights out of them down here. Carrier air group. They have... I'm guessing this is the transport planes that just dropped off these paratroopers, so we're going to... can't we target their airstrip? We can't target the airfield? No, I guess not. We'll just attack their ground units over here. We're bombing Ajako. We'll start to see their organization go down a little bit. Our carrier air groups aren't exactly suited for any specific combat mission, unfortunately. There are German units out here. I guess we'll send the backup fleet on a small patrol just right here in the coast. Maybe they can catch a German fleet. I doubt it. This is probably German U-boats that we're spotting with our radar, which is actually fantastic. If we know where they're operating, we can send our tactical bombers over there to cause some hell. We can just say do convoy raidings, naval strikes in this general area, and they'll look for fleets to bomb. Especially if their submarines are going to come over here. We can use the awesome information that we have, the intel map mode. And look at that, we can see pretty darn far into Germany thanks to this this little radar installation over here, and it's not even halfway built up yet. It is fantastic. How you doing, guys? I mean, okay, so it's not doing spectacularly, but it's weakening them. It's softening them up, so that our transports can get down here with the 2nd Corps. And we can do a little naval engagement. Oh, are we being attacked in the air? Who's attacking us in the air? We're bombing Ajako. Let's go to the air map mode. See. Yeah, we've bombed that province 8 times in the last week. There is combat over here. 2 bombings in that province, but we're not engaging them. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It is nice that Germany's spreading out. We can counterattack now, though. That's always a good thing. You're a little bit isolated up there, aren't you? I wonder. You know, I really shouldn't have redeployed those tactical bombers from Denmark over here. It's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to bring them back up because they're going to be intercepted and they're going to have half organization, but hey, whatever works. They're attacking with a heavy armored division across the strait, which gives them a negative 99% amphibious penalty. Not so smart, these Germans. I mean, one advantage to doing something like that is that tanks generally lose organization at a much slower rate than normal infantry do. So when you just need someone to stay in battle for a long time while you're whittling down the enemy's organization, then heavy armored units are exactly what you need in that case. They take very low damage and as such lose very low amounts of organization. So we're gonna move here to the Bonifaco Straits where we have our fleet protecting them. And this sea tile actually borders Calvi and Corte and Ajako, all from the same sea tile. So we're going to send 1 unit on the HQ to Corte, 1 unit to Calvi, which gives us an automatic surround, and then we're just going to attack right into Ajako here. And it's going to start out looking very piss poor, but they're already out of supplies because the Germans haven't called Italy into the war, so they can't actually send supplies down this way. The Brits control the Straits of Gibraltar over here, so the Germans can't send supplies in this way. And the Brits also control the Suez Canal still, so the Germans can't send supplies up through the Red Sea down there. So really, this poor unit of German paratroopers, Fallschirmjägers, I think? Yeah, Fallschirmjägers, is just going to die out here, completely surrounded by the Second Corps of the French army. They took Corsica from us, but looks like we're taking it back. Relatively simply, anyway. Hopefully we don't lose too many units here, but I mean, this is... And we're out of supply, apparently? Good. Great. That's fantastic. I guess we didn't let the province here get any supplies, yeah. Because they're being supplied from that port there, and we didn't leave them rebased there for too long, so I guess we didn't give them enough time to gather supplies for their little invasion. Which sucks, it's unfortunate. They'll still win, I'm not worried about that. Okay, we're working on anti-tank. Let's start working more on artillery barrel and ammunition. Yeah, this lack of supplies penalty kind of sucks. We'll engage in the attack from the north now, which doesn't give us the amphibious penalty, which is hurting these guys by 80% because they're just regular infantry, they're not actually Marines. But these units are attacking at fairly decent amount of strength. There's a terrain penalty. What's this terrain here? Oh, it's mountains. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm not going to garrison Corsica. It's not going to happen. It's just too unimportant. But if we can snipe a German unit like this, just basically kill it for free. I mean, this is what, 10,000 men? We'll see. We'll see how many Germans surrender. Yeah, about 9,000 Germans just surrendered to us, and we lost 300 troops for the privilege. It sucks, but it's worth it. We'll move them here. Yeah, rebase there. Move all the units here, and we're going to bring them back and stick them back up here again, where they can actually maybe get supplies, and we can redeploy them elsewhere. Okay, you don't need to do your ground attack anymore. You can go back home, and we'll just move you right back to Marseille. Wonderful. Took care of that little situation. Germans are still throwing that away in Faaborg, and we are sinking more transports and escorts along this route over here. These submarines are doing fairly well. Infantry anti-tank weapons, always a good sign. We could go down the whole mechanized infantry path and upgrade our existing infantry to mechanized, or upgrade our motorized infantry to mechanized. Let's do that. It'll make our armored brigades just that much tougher. Yeah, we need to focus a lot more on upgrades now, I think, than anything else. We need to make sure that our standing army is as strong as possible. And then, yeah, we'll just, we'll rebase you up here to Calais. Easy stuff. Interesting tactic by Germany there. Taking that province. It didn't work out too well for them. Doing fairly well, distracting the Germans up in this general area. These units are doing fairly well. All of you can still continue to gain skill, and the Lieutenant General in charge can still continue to gain skill, and these infantry units are also continuing to gain skill. Leon Trotsky is dead. It's unfortunate. Doesn't really affect our country in any way, but hey, you know, whatever works. Our spies are doing okay. We have plenty of domestic spies. There are spies active in our country. I would like to take them out, but they're not doing any political damage to us. And our ruling party is doing very well right now, and we're just focusing on raising our national unity. Maybe we can get to that 80% mark and get some cool effects. Agriculture bonus, it's fantastic. Industrial production, yeah, I'd say it's worth it to start investing in the education. Sorry, the industry test things again. Bulgarian claims on Romanian territory. They went with unnecessary sacrifice. Romania's giving up more of their country now. These three provinces, I think. To avoid a war with Bulgaria. You know, if you declared war on Bulgaria, we would have helped. You could have won. I mean, you would have had to actually take your troops off of these borders, which would have sucked, but we would have helped you take over Bulgaria. Poor Romania, it's just getting beat up on. I'm surprised Bulgaria even went with that option, with the, you know, Axis and all, and you aren't part of the Axis. Could actually declare war on you to, puppet you, but, rather not. As unfortunate as it is. Hey! Hey, the Brits are sending more Marines! Thank you, Brits. We'll attach you to the Brits Corps, move you over here to Kane. Maybe we'll put you to use. We should have used them in that, that little escapade over there on, Corsica, actually. Didn't even think about it. We had Marines available. We didn't use them. We'll add you back to the Interceptor Corps. More upgrades are needed to upgrade that Interceptor up to snuff. Well, that's okay. Our Air Force is expanding. We're sinking more German transports, which is always a good thing. I don't think that our airplanes that we deployed over here are actually doing anything. So we're just going to send them back home. And we are stockpiling our manpower. Germans are throwing away their manpower, trying to attack over this strait. And increasing our officer ratio. Now we're up to 130%. I do think that it's time to cut back even further on our officers in favor of a little bit more research being done. I'm going to leave 4 points invested in it now, down from, I think it was 6 beforehand? Regardless, 4 points in that. Majority on research allows us to do 11 research projects, and the 11th one is at suboptimal speed. What do you want, Australia? Oh, that's New Zealand. I can never tell the difference in their flags. I feel so bad. Yeah, fine. Yeah, that's cool. Whatever works. Governments nationalizing the private sector in certain countries. That's fine. Who are we influencing again right now? France. We are influencing Yugoslavia, which is where? Right here. And they're drifting towards the Axis because they're ideologically similar. Now, Yugoslavia doesn't start the game as a democracy. Their ruling party is one of the fascist parties, unfortunately. Let's see. We go for unaligned, and we scroll all the way down to the Ys. There's Yugoslavia. We have 2 spies there right now because our spies aren't doing too hot. We can see that the democratic factions are very strong in terms of their political power. But one of these fascist parties, I think it's this one, is actually the ruling party right now because Yugoslavia is not a democracy at the beginning of the game. So they are more ideologically close to the fascists. And it is a distinct possibility that they will join the fascist party. The fascist faction. There's actually an event chain that will either shoo them over to the fascist faction or allow them to join the fascists, only then to have a popular revolution, overthrow their government, and declare war on Germany. It'll be interesting if Italy joins the war at that point, because they might jump in on the Axis side, and if they're on the Axis side and Italy declares war on them, that means Italy declares war on the whole Axis, at which point we'll be at war with Italy. And we'll need to send troops over here to shore up the Romanians and the Yugoslavs. And I don't think we'll have enough troops to do that. But we'll see. We got better Arctic equipment, which is good. I think we are going to start shuttling more of our research over in the industry general direction. The more I see we have, the better we'll be able to do. Although there is a very limited amount we can do with the limited amount of manpower that we currently have. Look at our upgrade need. Man. Well, I mean, we are literally upgrading basically every single infantry division now, which is fantastic. It's a very good thing. I really shouldn't be complaining. More attacks up in Faaborg. That's fine. You go for it. Look at how darn strong these units are. It's fantastic. I think we're actually going to switch this unit out for this unit, and this unit out for this unit. Might be a little bit risky to leave one unit just all by itself up there. I think we'll be okay. Anti-tank barrel and sights just finished, which is good. We don't want rocket artillery. It was stupid of me to research this. We do want because this one, we're currently researching mechanized infantry back in armor. And the light tank gun and the light tank engine influences the mechanized stats. Actually, the entire light tank tree influences the mechanized stats. So we do want to top off our light tank research. This is tank destroyers and artillery. Yeah, we do sort of want to make sure that all of this is still up to snuff, still good, because by researching both the infantry tech, that's the benefit of mechanized infantry. You get the benefits of both the infantry upgrades and the armored upgrades, the light armor upgrades. So mechanized infantry is really, really strong later on in the game. But yeah, things are just sort of happening. Yeah, there we go. The Germans saw that we only had one division there, and they threw everything they had in it. And then we reinforced, and they lost a whole bunch of their troops. I mean, we lost, looks like a combined about 1,000 men in this, the 33rd Division of Infantry, which is unfortunate. But our reinforcement need is coming down, and our upgrade need is also coming down. So things are getting better. Things are getting better. I saw a little thing about Yugoslavia. Their highest threat right now is the Soviet Union. They're being influenced by both France and Germany. And look at we can see into the Soviet Union from here, from Reims. One level 10 radar station allows you to see so bloody much, just so much. And we don't know what units are based in these ports, but we can tell that there are units based in these ports. It's absolutely fantastic. We know where their garrisons are along the coast. We know what their troop composition looks like. We know, for instance, that they're gathering troops on the border here. We don't know how many. We only sort of generally know what kind of units. Like we know these are motorized infantry. They've got a special forces unit over here, and these are infantry. I mean, it looks like they are gearing up for an attack, but not a very strong one. Yeah, I think this is good. Bunch of random piddling events. It is the end of 1940 already. It's October. It's almost winter. And the Germans haven't attacked the Low Countries. It's about 6... Oh, it's 2 down here. It looks like about 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. Ground isn't freezing yet, but the colder and colder it gets, the worse and worse attacking anywhere is. Our radars are better. Radars are better. Wonderful. Let's stop doing that and start, Let's see, it's almost 1941. We can do more education. Education's good. Random little nonsense events for countries. Whatever works, that's fine. But yeah, if we can prevent all of these Dutch units and all of these all of Belgium's units from just dying, basically, from being captured by the Germans and forced out of existence, we can bolster our current army's strength with the strength of both of these armies. Sort of like what I wanted to do up here in Denmark, but Denmark didn't really have an army to begin with, and they've decided that defending Copenhagen with their it looks like 1 unit of cavalry and maybe 2 units of infantry, whatever works. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? It's well, not really. Denmark's only useful because we can travel down here freely, and we have freedom of movement all the way up in the Baltic Sea. And the Germans occasionally like to throw units at us, which is kind of silly on their part. But hey, whatever works. Actually, it doesn't work for them. It works for us though. So Bulgaria has been accepted into the Axis. Well, I feel sorry for Romania. It has a lot of dangerous enemies in this region. I wonder if they're gonna go for Yugoslavia first or Greece first. Okay. Well, we need these 2 corps for defending Denmark, for defending the Low Countries. We really can't afford to send more units down here. Romania does have a fairly strong army. Bulgaria is now mobilizing. Good. But I don't think, like, if Bulgaria attacks them and calls Hungary, for instance, in, Romania won't be able to win that. We need to send troops down there if we want Romania to survive in any significant way. But I don't think we can hold out down here without these 2 expeditionary corps. I really wish they'd attacked these low countries already so we can move our troops into position. That way we won't need to worry about that. We'd be able to make the decision about whether or not to pull some corps and move them over here. I think we need to, though. I'm going to pull the 14th Corps. Okay, you're at max skill. Let's replace you with somebody else. Yeah. I'm going to pull the 14th Corps from the Expeditionary Army. Well, actually, they're going to stay in the Expeditionary Army. And I'm going to rebase them down here, I suppose. Constanta. Oh. Yeah, okay. Well, they declared war on us. Okay, Romania, who else are you at war with? You're not at war with Hungary, not at war with Yugoslavia, you're at war with Bulgaria, and Bulgaria's at war with us. Okay. Well, it's a good thing we made that decision then. Romania, I'd highly recommend moving some of your troops someplace else. Where's our transport fleet? Because we can't land in Constanta anymore. We need to land up here now. In St. George. What port level are you at? Not too bad. Okay. Or we could try to land in Varna. Well, let's just move you here to the Bulgarian coast, and we'll move our Mediterranean task force over here as well. See what we can see. Yeah, Romania, you really need to move your armies south. Move them south. You can beat Bulgaria if you try. I have faith in you. I believe in you, Romania. I believe in you. Don't let them take your victory provinces. You will lose if they take your capital and this province. You will lose. You will not survive with just that province alone. Okay, well, let's do some... Okay, there's bombings. Let's do some air superiority flights down here. Where's our transports? We need to get them here as quickly as possible. Of course, they don't have any supplies. Of course they don't have any supplies. Romania, move your troops south, Romania. I know the Soviets are threatening. I know. But you need to beat the Bulgarians. Okay, well, now we need to decide what else we're going to build. Oh, boy. We have more convoys. We're not really being threatened at sea. I think it needs to be... We're building more radar stations. It needs to be more airplanes. It just needs to be. Let's build 2 more interceptors. Really gonna wrest the skies from Germany. We're gonna make an attempt at the very least. You can't lose Bucharest or Ploiesti? Okay, we're here now. There's nowhere we can land and immediately be welcomed. I mean, I suppose we could just dump everyone here, but it looks like we're being pushed out of that province anyway. And if we're going to land up there, we might as well just, dock. Let's rebase them here, so that we'll be able to pull out if we lose. I really don't want to lose the entire Romanian army just because they can't defend their bloody capital against the Bulgarians. Alright, so we're going to move down in this direction. We're going to send the Corps HQ and 2 infantry. I'm going to move the rest over here. I'm going to put 1 there. One of them is going to come down here. And one of them is going to come over here to Ploiesti. We'll see if we can shore up this line here. Yes, please, Romania, pull the troops south. You can't lose Bucharest. Yeah, I know you're all in poor supply. I know. It sucks. Keep moving, keep going. Poor Romania can't supply its own troops. We need to stop this advance. Alright, good. We engage them with, like, all of our core here, and we're demolishing them. We need to push them back. If we can handle this little front over here, oh man, that was destruction on our part. We're doing fantastic. We can take Constanta back. We can take Bucharest. We can knock Bulgaria out of the war before Germany can send reinforcements down in this general direction. Yes, Romania, we'll give you as much debt as possible. Just hold Bucharest. Well, this just got a lot more interesting. Thanks much, guys, for joining me. I'll see you all next time.